And Senator Booker is joining me now, and for anybody watching at home, please understand we gave him a chair. He's sitting in a chair right now. The illusion is that he's standing. But for people who don't know, you had to stand the whole time. You couldn't take a bathroom break. The only break of any sort you got was if one of your colleagues would ask you a question to give your voice a break.
Yes.
How are you feeling? Yeah, physically and also emotionally, the longest speech in the history of the U.S. Senate.
Well, I'm physically not in the best shape, but I am emotionally just feeling really fed right now and grateful, and kind of just really grateful for a lot of the people who lent support to the effort, and obviously the constituents, the dozens and dozens of folks who gave me their stories, who gave me their hurt, their pain, their anger, their demands of me that I read, and their really humble offers that tell me what I can do. It was some very moving speeches, and then some of my colleagues came on the floor and just told them very emotional stories too that really sourced me through the whole challenge.
It was obviously a very emotional experience. Just one more question on the physicality of it, which is, you were a football star at Stanford University. You're 56 years old now, but you were a football star 20-something years ago. Was this more difficult than being a football star and taking some of those hits on the gridiron?
It was just different, my friend. It was just different. This was real, physical challenge. I had to think of a lot of strategic things to do in order to prepare for it. And then, and you're right, I'm a lot older than that football player, a lot less hair too. So it was a challenge, it was a trial, but I really felt lifted by the energy as Congress people started coming over, a lot of my CBC, Congressional Black Caucus friends. It just turned out to be, when the gallery started filling up, it was a lot of folks' energy that really carried me to try to do as I sort of framed the whole speech with John Lewis's demand to all of us. His spirit just talked a lot about doing good trouble and necessary trouble.
That was a very moving part of your speech. We should note, the previous record was set rather ignominiously by then Democrat, eventually he became a Republican, Senator Strom Thurmond, who was filibustering the Civil Rights Act in 1957. You weren't filibustering anything. You were giving this speech, so not to block legislation, but I want to know, what do you say to somebody who says, well, why were you doing this? Other people have done it to block legislation. Ted Cruz did it to try to stop Obamacare. I think he was doing it in 2013, maybe. Your friend, Senator Chris Murphy, who was there with you the whole time, did it to try to get some anti-gun legislation votes. Tell us the purpose of this.
I think we're really at a point in America where things are happening that don't sit right with people of both sides of the aisle. I did everything I could to read from Republican governors, from the Cato Institute, from the Manhattan Institute, all talking about just the insanity of trying to pass a budget right now that's going to blow the biggest single precedent record for creating more debt, more deficit, giving tax cuts that are disproportionately going to go to the wealthiest Americans who don't need that tax cut, and then all the while gutting things like Medicaid. It just makes no sense. There's so many things going on by this president who is trashing our allies, bullying Canada, who is in many ways just violating judges' orders, trampling on our Article I power. So I just wanted to give a speech that said that this is not normal, and we can't normalize it. And all of us have a responsibility to do something different, to take some risks, to be there for each other, and to try to ignite a larger movement in our country, the kind of movement that stopped Donald Trump from taking away the Affordable Care Act. And perhaps together, collectively, if we all speak out, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, to the absurdity of some of this, perhaps we can make changes and change some policies and get some other Republicans to change their votes to stop bad things from happening.
Just to play a little bit more of your speech, you did acknowledge Senator Strom Thurmond and his record-breaking until today, 24-hour, 18-minute speech to oppose the Civil Rights Act. Let's roll a little bit about what you had to say about Senator Thurmond.
To hate him is wrong. And maybe my ego got too caught up that if I stood here, maybe, just maybe I could break this record of the man who tried to stop the rights upon which I stand. I'm not here, though, because of his speech. I'm here despite his speech. I'm here because as powerful as he was, the people were more powerful.
Now, let me confess. You told me that you were going to try to do this. Now, you didn't say that you were going to make it to beat Strom Thurmond. You didn't.
Good morning, YouTube, and happy Wednesday. So I wanted to share some good news with you guys. Yesterday, I hit my 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I am so grateful. YouTube is something that I've wanted to do YouTube for years before I actually decided to pick up the camera and started creating content. So I am very grateful and appreciative that I'm being received. I engage with people. People are very supportive, and I'm very happy. So thank you very much for that. I'm very appreciative. But this video, we are going to talk about Senator Cory Booker. Senator Cory Booker is a senator from New Jersey, and he decided to fight. He decided to oppose, to be a part of an opposition party, and I appreciate that and respect that immensely, because as a Democrat, as someone who vote for Democrats and who's a more progressive, I wouldn't necessarily say progressive, but more left-leaning liberal person, I started to feel very defeated. I started to feel like no one was fighting for us. We literally have Elon Musk and Donald Trump just running around doing whatever. Because here's the thing, this is what Democrats have to understand. Donald Trump has absolutely no desire to work in a bipartisan way. He has no desire to follow rules and regulations. And so when Chuck Schumer decided to roll over during the budget bill, because remember, Chuck Schumer signed on and agreed to the CR, which is the continual resolution. And people were so upset because it's like, you never go to a negotiating table and don't get anything out of it, which was so frustrating because it's like, Chuck, you rolled over. You just basically assumed like, well, Donald Trump gonna do whatever he wants, so I might as well just let him. That's not leadership. That's not fight. That's not how it goes. And Nancy Pelosi made a phenomenal point. Nancy Pelosi is like, I never ever leave like a negotiating table without something. It doesn't matter. Like, here's the thing, because people are going to be like, well, the Republicans are in power. Yes, they are. But the Democrats still have some power. You still have to oppose. You still have to fight. You still have to show tenacity for your constituents. And Chuck Schumer did not do that. He did not do that. They could have made amendments to the bill. It's a way to fight. And Chuck Schumer seems like he don't want to fight anymore, and it's the reason why he probably should just retire and go sit down. Chuck, thank you for your service, but right now we're in a moment of time where we're dealing with somebody like Donald Trump, a person, like I said, who has no desire to work with the other side. This is what happens in politics, right? We have Republicans, we have Democrats. Our country swings. You'll have Barack Obama had 8 years, Donald Trump got in, then Joe Biden got in, then Donald Trump got in again. So we swing back and forth. So it's imperative that you work bipartisanly, but Donald Trump has absolutely no desire to work bipartisanly. So it's important, it's imperative. Like, you have to match his energy, because you're not playing with somebody who wants to play fair. You're not dealing with somebody who wants to do what's best for all Americans. You're dealing with somebody who only cares about the people who voted for him. And I would argue he don't care about them either. So it's imperative. When you're dealing with somebody like Donald Trump, you match energy. It's imperative that you be willing to fight. It's imperative because some people is like, we need a opposition party. Some people say we need a resistance party. I agree with Sunny Hostin. I was watching The View one day, and she was basically saying a resistance party is too passive. It's too like, well, I kind of sort of want to work it out. No. When you're dealing with Donald Trump, you have to oppose him. You have to be a part of an opposition party. You have to say, these are my terms. Like, we're going to have to compromise. We're going to have to come together. But this is what I expect. And I'm not signing my name onto anything that I don't leave with something for my people, for my constituents. And it shouldn't be like that necessarily because this is the United States of America. But like I said, when you are dealing with someone like Donald Trump who do not care about the rules, he don't care about the court, he don't care about oversight, he don't care about the legislation, he don't care. He do not care. And so when you're dealing with a bully, you kind of got to match that bully. And so Chuck was extremely disappointing. Senator Cory Booker was phenomenal. Now, what Senator Cory Booker basically did, he filibustered. He was on the House floor, or the Senate floor, I'm sorry. He was on the Senate floor for 25 hours. That is admirable in a way that I can't articulate because that, first of all, he broke the record. So that was phenomenal. And he stayed there. He educated. He told the public what Donald Trump is doing, what Elon Musk is doing. So he basically had all of, because when they do it is basically to get press, to get their name out there, to filibuster, to make sure that your message is being heard, to make sure that your constituencies, they understand that you're fighting for them. And I just think he did a phenomenal job. Like I said, he's a brilliant senator. If you ever listen to him speak, he's very articulate. He's very smart. And I watched some of the speech. I watched some of him, filibustering on the Senate floor. And I was just like, this is phenomenal. This is what we need. We need someone who's going to fight back. We need someone who is not going to roll over, because we got a long 4 years. It's going to be a long 4 years. And I don't want to scare people, or I don't want people to feel so on guard or always feel like it's like an alarm, but it is. We're literally in the middle of a constitutional crisis. We had Donald Trump, border czar, basically to go on national TV and say he don't care what the courts say. That doesn't happen. Because normally in a democracy, in a republic, you have to adhere to the rules and the regulations. You have to listen to the courts. So when you have somebody, a part of an administration that says, I don't even care what the courts say. It's not even a matter of like, I don't care what the Democrats say. It's, I don't care what the courts say. And we're going to actively defy judges' orders, argue judges' orders, try to take everything up to the Supreme Court. That's what we're dealing with on the Republican side. So what Senator Cory Booker did was show fight. He showed tenacity. He showed that the Democrats are willing to fight. And it's what Chuck Schumer wouldn't do, who is the minority leader in the Senate. And one of the senators from one state was willing to do something that Chuck wasn't willing to do. And it's the reason that Chuck Schumer does not deserve his leadership. He said on The View, they basically was like, if you can't rally your caucus, if you can't rally the senators, then do you believe that you deserve to be the leader? I deserve to be the leader. Why? Why do you deserve to be the leader if you can't rally your people? Like, a part of being a leader is just not like having the top job. It's being able to gain consensus and gather your people and get your people on one message. You obviously can't do that. So no, you do not deserve to be the leader. It's too many people in Washington. This is the reason why we need term limits. It's too many people in Washington that's there because they just love the power. They don't want to work for their constituents. They're not fighting for us. They like the power. He likes being minority leader Chuck Schumer. But you obviously don't like fighting because that's not what you did. You obviously don't like working for your constituents because that's not what you did. But yesterday, that's what Cory Booker did. He fought for us. He advocated for us. He educated us. He made sure he was there for 25 hours. That man said, I watched him on Jake Tapper. That man said he fasted. He limited his water intake. That man, he made sacrifice. He fought. He was fighting. And that's what Democrats want. That's what Democrats need. That's what it's imperative. For us, the Democratic base, the constituency of the Democrat, that's what we want. We don't want nobody to roll over for Donald Trump, because if you roll over for Donald Trump, this country is going to look very different. There's so much progress that has been made. And Donald Trump and his administration they want to take us back to a time that America was great for them. Not for everybody else, great for them. And because we know that that's what they're doing, we need leaders who are going to fight. And that's what Cory Booker did, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful because that's what we need. We need somebody, and the education of it all, that was my favorite piece. Him educating the public. Basically, like, this is what these people are doing. Pay attention. I loved it. I loved it. So I just wanted to make this video just to shout out Senator Cory Booker. If you guys get the opportunity, it was on like every news channel, every content creator, political content creator was going live. I tried to go live for you guys. I don't know what I did wrong, but so it's available. It's very, very available. You can go on Associated Press. You can go wherever. You can find the speech, basically the filibuster that he did. You can find it. If you have time, watch it and listen. It got me riled up. It got me riled up because I'm like, finally somebody's fighting back. Finally somebody that's not afraid to fight. Because how are you going to be a leader? How are you going to be in leadership and you scared to fight? How? So I loved it. Shout out to Senator Cory Booker. I am very appreciative and very grateful for your sacrifice, for your education, like for all the things that you did during that 25 hours. It meant the world to some of us because we see that somebody wants to fight back. And that's what we were looking for. It's one step. It ain't the whole game. Republicans still have full control. They still have the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not apolitical. They have the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, the presidency, and a cult-like following. So we ain't win. Like, we still got a lot of fighting to do. We still have a lot to go, but Cory Booker was the first step, and I loved it. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys have an extraordinary day. Again, thank you very much for the 1,000 subscribers. It means so much to me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.